You're listening to Weight Loss for Life Coaches, Episode 7, with certified life and weight loss coach, Paige Bowman.
Welcome to Weight Loss for Life Coaches, the weekly podcast for coaches who are growing their coaching business and on their weight loss journey. Each week, we'll be tackling why weight loss feels hard and how to make hitting your weight loss goal the simplest thing you do all day. It's episode 7, y'all. I'm just like, I have a podcast and now I have 7 episodes. This is wild. And today we're really going for it. We're going to be talking about It's Done energy. This episode is coming to you as a byproduct of both what I created from the webinar I did earlier this year called How to Lose Weight with Simplicity and Ease, and this workshop I'm putting on for my clients next week. If you're listening to this real time, it's at the end of February. It's for my clients. It will be live and they'll get a workbook. It'll be a very valuable workshop for them, and it'll be held in the bonus section of my modules when I get those up for my clients very soon. So I'm excited for them. And this episode is a byproduct of that because I still want all of you podcast listeners to learn all about It's Done energy and get to benefit from this idea baby I kind of created from the life coach schools concepts and other coaches that I've learned from, and then kind of turned it into my own thing. And so I call it It's Done energy. And I kind of put quotation marks around it's done as if that's a belief we have. It's done. And It's Done energy is this idea that you are showing up on your journey and acting from this energy of knowing your goal is done. It's done. And really, the question I want to ask you is, why would you move forward on your journey any other way? And it sounds rhetorical, but it's really not, because we know why, and we're going to get more into this in the episode, but we know why we don't act from It's Done energy. It's very protective, right? Our primal brain wants to keep us safe, and believing ahead of time in a goal that we may have never hit before, and we're not sure exactly how to do it, feels dangerous, because if you don't hit the goal, you'll have the opportunity to make it mean a lot of things about yourself, and then it might keep you from ever trying again. So it might feel dangerous to believe it's done and go for it without doubting yourself the entire way. But really ask yourself, why would I move forward any other way? Why would I bring along with me on this journey a low-level disappointment and doubt on this journey? It's just not worth it to experience that as you lose weight. You're probably surprised to hear this from a weight loss coach, but I would much rather someone put their weight loss journey on pause and work through this idea of not believing in themselves and experiencing this low-level disappointment and doubt in themselves first, or at least for sure along the way, then go forward losing weight, holding back, keeping themselves in doubt, really depreciating that trust in themselves. I would just rather them not lose weight, not go on that journey at all, unless they're committed to working through that. So if you want to know my thoughts and my stance on what kind of weight loss journey I recommend and what kind I don't, there you go. It's in the books. So to reiterate, the only upside of doubting yourself the entire journey or being in we'll see energy, right? The opposite of It's Done energy is just for your brain to be protecting itself. And it's good to know that the brain is protecting itself, and it does that by doubting so that you don't take big steps moving forward because that feels dangerous. That means that protecting yourself and It's Done energy go hand in hand. If you don't need to protect yourself, for example, you've got your own back, then you give yourself permission to be in It's Done energy. Because then if you don't hit your goal by the timeline you've chosen, you'll be there for yourself. You'll pick yourself up when you're down, and then you'll just keep going. But if you need to protect yourself from what might come, for example, the kinds of things you'll be thinking about yourself, if you don't hit that goal by that timeline you set, then you won't have permission from yourself to be in it's done energy. You'll be in we'll see energy because you'll need to create safety for yourself. What ends up happening is you'll cross that finish line. Say you set a date and you've crossed that time and you haven't hit your goal yet. And you'll be able to say to yourself, oh, well, I didn't hit my goal, but that's kind of what I was expecting anyway, because I don't fully believe in myself. It feels safer, but really you're just experiencing that low level disappointment and doubt in yourself the whole time. And then telling yourself that it's better and safer and more comfortable than having full on trust and confidence in yourself. You're not alone here. Most of my clients experience this, and this is pretty much what I work on with every one of my clients. We're taught by society or culture, friends and family and those around us that it'd be better to hope for the best, but not really believe in it and feel that low level of disappointment or doubt or even hesitation now than be all in, be in it's done energy, believe that you'll hit the goal, and then when you don't, experience the disappointment then. But really, wouldn't it be better to experience the joy and the belief and the trust in yourself throughout the entire journey? And then when you feel the disappointment, when you don't hit your goal, to go ahead and have your own back then, to give yourself a big hug, tell yourself you did everything that you could and you did amazing and all the byproducts were totally worth it. Let's go for it again, or let's change the goal or whatever, versus the entire time on the journey telling yourself you're probably not going to get it anyway. I really want you to think about the difference between being in we'll see kind of energy versus it's done energy, and how different your experiences on your journey, not just what you're trying to prevent yourself from thinking and feeling at the end, which, by the way, is totally optional. And learning that for myself was really important. I remember when my coach had us do a challenge in my business coaching container where we try to make or attempt, right? That's the goal, to make 25K in 30 days in our business. And the first time that I was a part of that goal, I remember thinking, if I'm going to go for this, and I remember telling my husband, it felt ridiculous. I can't believe she was asking me to try to hit this goal. Of course I was going to fail. Why would I go after this? Yes, there was a whole 5 days of that 30-day challenge where I was really struggling. And I remember deciding to go after it. And I remember telling myself, if for nothing else, then once and for all, I want to prove to myself that I will go after a goal full out, all in. It's done. And on the other side, I want to prove to myself that I will have my own back when I fall down, when I crash and burn at the end, if that's what you want to call it. I will pick myself up, give myself a hug, and have my own back. Get right back on the horse or the motorcycle I used in a recent example with a client of mine. That entire challenge, going after a goal, feeling a whole lot of doubt and disappointment, and then working through that and then being all in. On the other side of that, I got to have my own back and create confidence in myself that I will forevermore be there for myself when I decide to go after a goal. And then if I don't hit it, I will pick myself up instead of kick myself while I'm down. And that's been one of the most valuable lessons that I've taught myself, or a coach or a teacher has helped me learn, is that I have my own back no matter what. So if I go after a goal and I'm all in and I'm in it's done energy and I'm not living with that low level disappointment or doubt, and then I pass that finish line or that timeline and I haven't hit the goal, I know I will not kick myself while I'm down. I won't tell myself I shouldn't have been believing. I won't tell myself I should be disappointed in myself, or I should have tried harder, or I'm not good enough. It's a no, which means I give myself permission to go after big goals and believe it's done. It has taken me some time and practice to get here, but it has been so worth it. I feel like I could just tackle the world if I had to, or whatever that's saying, like bring it. And I say it's taken time and practice because if you're starting out and this is the first time you've heard this idea, I'm sure that someone else has coined this it's done energy idea. I see it as an up level from the life coach school's before and after model that they teach when you have a goal. But for me, this idea has become so important and so foundational to any journey I go on that I'm like, hey, I want you to know about it. And not only do I want you to know about it, I want you to practice it. I want you to do a deep dive in it. I want you to go out and listen to this, go out and practice being in It's Done Energy, to come back and listen to it again. For my clients, we coach on it. It's a foundational part of my program. And now I'm putting on a workshop for my clients on this idea because it's so important and it's so valuable to have this self-trust, this confidence, this certainty that you can go all in on a goal. You don't have to protect yourself. You don't have to keep yourself safe. And then on the other side of that, no matter what happens with the goal, no matter what happens at the end of that finish line, you've got you. And think about how differently it feels to lose weight, believing, we'll see, versus believing it's done. From the we'll see mindset and energy, you'll experience doubt, fear, and uncertainty. Weight loss in and of itself isn't hard, but imagine trying to learn your hunger scale and understand your body, master the skill of allowing urges, teaching yourself how to plan with your prefrontal cortex, not negotiate with the primal brain. My basic tools, if you've been around here for a little while, imagine learning those skills, which are still skills that will take effort and practice to learn, and then learning them with doubt, fear, and uncertainty right alongside you. That does not sound like a fun experience to me. I don't know about you, but it's a no, especially if I am feeling them and then really indulging in them versus feeling them and processing them and letting them go. Now imagine losing weight from It's Done energy. You'll experience certainty, curiosity, and capability. Some of my favorite emotions start with C. And you can see that here with certainty, curiosity, and capability. But imagine learning those basic tools, allowing urges, planning your food ahead of time, writing it down and honoring it, understanding and listening to your body cues for hunger and satisfaction levels, and really getting to know yourself on this journey and losing weight, mastering these skills with certainty, curiosity, and capability right alongside you. It's a totally different experience. This topic is so important, not just for weight loss. And of course, this is a weight loss coaching podcast. But one of my clients just commented in our session. She said, this isn't weight loss coaching, it's blow your mind coaching. And I love that because this topic of It's Done energy can be applied anywhere. And imagine if you mastered being in It's Done energy on your weight loss journey, what would change for you in other areas of your life, in your relationships, in your business, with other kinds of goals that you have for yourself. Teaching yourself how to no longer need that protection with that low level disappointment ahead of time, and teaching yourself that you can trust yourself to be all in and to have your back at the end. Now, if you've been around here for a little while, you know one of my most recommended, if I were to tell you to listen to any episode of the Weight Loss for Life Coaches podcast, it would be episode 5, because it's all about the 3 super simple steps to weight loss. Plan your food ahead of time, write it down, and honor your plan. Now, imagine learning these 3 simple steps on your weight loss journey from It's Done energy versus We'll See energy. When you're in It's Done energy, you're thinking, my goal is done. I know I'm going to hit it and I'm going to have my back the entire way. So it's okay that I don't know the entire how of the journey. And I'm willing to try these 3 super simple steps because I know they'll just help me on this journey. It frees you up from needing the whole plan laid out in front of you, the exact how, the right diet or exercise plan before you get started. It means you'll be willing to take these 3 simple steps, try them out and practice them, and then evaluate from there, proving to yourself that you're on the right track, that you're just learning, building capability, building certainty on the journey, and then you'll just keep going. Versus being in will see energy, thinking, okay, I really don't know that I'm going to hit this goal, but if I'm going to, I need to find the right plan so that I don't fail all along the way, because then that would prove that maybe it's for you, I'm a failure, or I can never figure things out. Those are the things that we're trying to protect ourselves from believing if we don't hit the goal. So we have to go find the right diet or exercise plan, the right steps, right? Because we're not willing to fail along the way. And then if we're not willing to fail all along the way and we need the whole plan ahead of time, we don't get started. We don't take the 3 super simple steps and practice them and learn from ourselves. We stay put. And here's what's so important is there's nothing wrong with you. This is exactly what's supposed to happen. Your primal brain is just trying to protect you. It's trying to protect you from the things you'll be thinking and the things you'll be feeling if you fail at the goal. Until you teach your primal brain that you'll have your own back, it thinks it needs to protect you ahead of time by keeping you doubting, feeling that low level of disappointment and not getting started. So this is where we say, of course my brain is trying to protect me. Of course it wants me to doubt myself. I see what's going on here. Nothing's gone wrong. I just have a primal brain that's doing its job. That's one of my favorite things to say to my brain. Of course you're protecting me. Nothing's gone wrong here. So good to know. Okay, so it's time for a powerful question. And here's a small snippet from the workshop I'll be putting on for my clients, and that will be in their bonus modules after that's done. So ask yourself this question. What would it be like to have my back on the entire journey of losing weight? And at the end, if I set a timeline and I didn't hit my goal? I would highly recommend asking yourself this, going to that place where you believed and had your own back, you were in it's done energy all along the way, and then you didn't hit your goal by the timeline you set, right? I mean, if you didn't set a timeline, then there's no end and you'll just never give up, right? But if you set a timeline and you didn't hit your goal by that timeline, really ask yourself, what would it be like to have my back, that I was in it's done energy and I didn't hit my goal? What do I want to think about myself? You can decide ahead of time, right now, what you'll choose to believe about yourself if you don't hit your goal, and then you can practice believing that now. So for me, back in the 25K in 30 days challenge I was talking about earlier, I decided that I would be so proud that I went after a goal that I had so much drama about. I did not want to do the challenge. I could not stop complaining to my husband about it. I told him it was a Kobayashi Maru, which is this test that is in Star Trek that they give the pilots, I think, where everyone fails. But the point is, like, you don't know you're supposed to fail when you take the test. But the point is to see how you do with failure. And I thought, this is exactly what my coach is doing. She's just giving me a goal that she knows I'm going to fail. Yeah, there was so much drama about it. But when I decided to go after it, to be all in, to believe I was definitely going to do it and I was going to hit my goal and I wasn't going to doubt myself the entire time, I decided to be so proud of myself for going after a goal that felt so hard to even get started. I was going to be so proud of myself for getting up every day, for self-coaching, for asking for coaching and receiving it, for not giving up on myself. That in and of itself was worth it. And then I practiced believing that every day of the month. I practiced believing that I'm so proud of myself, that I just keep going, that I have 100% success rate of continuing on, whether I fail or succeed at things, because here I am. So ask yourself, what would it be like to have my back on the journey while in it's done energy? And at the end, if I don't hit my goal, decide ahead of time what you'll choose to believe about yourself if you don't hit your goal, and then practice believing that now. All right, y'all, this was I kind of riffed off a little bit in this podcast. I wanted to get it all out there, get it in your hands as much as I could. The rest is going into my client's workshop. So if you're my client, know that that's coming, or if it's already happened, I hope you thought it was amazing and got so much out of it. But I really wanted to give this podcast to you, get this into your podcast platform and into your ears so you could be practicing the It's Done energy. So you can let yourself know you don't have to protect yourself anymore, that it's safe to be all in and to know that you'll have your back on the other side, and to start practicing that now. If you love this episode, leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Let us know what you want to hear more of. I plan on putting out a podcast every week for who knows how long. So let me know what you want to hear more about, or what you want to learn more about that we've already covered maybe. And if you have any questions, you can always email me at hello@paigebowman.com, or send me a message on Instagram at lifecoachpaigeb. That's it for this episode. See y'all next week.